Hello students, in last class we have discussed the chapter NumPy array and its basic, we have discussed what is the NumPy array, what is one dimensional NumPy array, what is two dimensional NumPy array, and we have discussed the various ways through which we can create these NumPy arrays. Later we have discussed the very important operation slicing we have discussed. Then we have discussed the operation splitting. All those things we have already discussed in our last video. So today we are going to discuss few more operations or methods available with NumPy. So let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the operation joining. So joining means like there are two arrays. Let's suppose these are the two arrays. Let's suppose this is one array 1 2 3 and 4, and let's suppose this is in another array. And let me give you an example. Let's suppose this is in another array. Let's suppose it is having the element 11 12 13 and 14. So let's suppose this is an array A1 and this is an array A2. Now if we want to join these two arrays, join means either we can join this horizontally or we can join this vertically. So these are the two operations possible when we come to join these two operations. Like these are the two operations, vertical joining and horizontal joining can be done with the help of VStack and HStack method. If you want to join the arrays horizontally, then what you will do, you will use the HStack method, and if you want to join the arrays vertically, then you will use the VStack method. We will see these with the example. Let's suppose these two arrays given and you want to join those two arrays horizontally. Horizontally means this way. All the array elements will come in a single array and all the data will come in a single array like this. So it will having like this. So what will happen if you join horizontally? It will 1 2 3 and 4 will come here, then 11, then 12, then 13 and then 14 will come here like this. This is the example of joining these two arrays horizontally. If you want to join these two arrays vertically, then you can also do like this. So this is an example of vertical joining. Let me show you like this. So these two arrays vertically 1 2 3 4, one array will come, and below this array another array will come 11 12 13 and then 14. This is vertical joining and this is horizontal joining. Horizontal joining can be done through this HStack method and vertical joining can be done through this VStack method. Keep this in mind. Now the question may arise, horizontal joining, you should remember these two things. Horizontal joining is only possible if the two arrays having the same number of rows. Like this array has how many rows? 2 rows. This array has how many rows? 2 rows. So that's why this horizontal joining is possible. If this array would have been like this, let's suppose array A have like this, this shape. Let's suppose 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. Let's suppose this array has this shape A1, then horizontal joining between A1 and A2 is not possible because it has the 3 rows, 1 2 3 rows, and it has the 2 rows. So if there are number of rows are not similar, then the joining between these two arrays is not possible. Keep this in mind. Okay, if the question is asked, there are two arrays given and the number of rows are not same, and the code is written like that the code was written for the horizontal joining, then you will write in answer that the number of rows in both the arrays are not similar, so the error will displayed on the screen and it will be say that the size is not compatible for joining. Okay, so keep this in mind. Now second condition you should mind, remember when you are joining vertically, number of rows should be same. Like this has the number of rows, how many number of rows, how many number of columns. In case of vertical joining, number of columns should be same. So how many columns are there in this array A1? 2 columns. In this array how many columns are there? 2 columns. So the joining between A1 and A2 vertically is possible, and we can see this result like this. But if the A1's shape would have been like this, let's suppose A1 array is like this. One, two, three, 4, 5 and 6. Let's suppose this array is in this shape. Then how many columns it has? 3 columns. 1, 2 and 3 columns it has, and the A2 array has the 2 columns. 1, 2. 1, 2. So the joining between these two arrays is not possible because number of columns in both the rows is not same. Okay, so while joining the arrays you should remember these conditions. If you remember these conditions, then it will be very easy for you to answer such type of questions. Okay, we will see this example that is given in the PPT. Let me rough this area and we will see this example. Okay, now this example, import we need to do for numpy array. Let's suppose this is the numpy array. Then what is the numpy array? A will look like this. A will look like this. 7, 5, then 1 and then 6. Okay, this is the array A. Has 2 rows and 2 columns. Now we would have been seeing the another method, that is concatenate method. To join the arrays we can use vstack and hstack, but you can also use concate method for the same purpose. Like if you want to join the arrays along the axes, like if you want to perform the vertical joining, then you will use concatenate method with axis 0, with axis equals to 0. By default axis is 0, so we need not to pass in this concate method. But if we want to join horizontally, we have to manually pass axis 1 like this. We can pass axis 0 like this here also, but by default the value of axis is always remains 0 in concate method, so we need not to pass this axis equal to 0 here, but you can pass it if you want. Okay, so if we pass the axis equal to 0, then it will perform which kind of joining? It will perform the vertical join. It will perform the vertical join. It will perform the vertical join. So A array and A array both will be vertically joined. So the same array will be joined vertically. So what will be the output? Array A will be joined vertically. So it will look like this. 7 5 1 6, and again one array, a array will be joined. So 7 5 1 6 will be repeated 2 times and it will be vertically joined. Now in the next example, np dot concate a comma a x is equals to 1, then it will perform the horizontal join. So the result will look like this. So the result will look like this. Yes, like this. 7 5 1 6 7 5 1 and 6. So this array will be look like this. Okay, now we will see another example. This is the another way of joining the arrays with concate method. You can perform both horizontal and vertical join with the help of concatenate method by passing the what argument? By passing the x is equals to 1 or 0. So keep this in mind. Let me move ahead. Now we want to see this x equals to np dot array 1 comma 2. So which kind of array it will create? It will create a one dimensional array with 1 2 value. So like this, this is the x array, this is the x array, and now another, now we will see this np dot v stack vertically join which arrays? X array and a array. So x array and a array will join vertically. So x array is there 1 2. So first we join these two arrays. We need to match whether the number of columns are same or not. So x array has how many columns? X array has 2 columns. So 2, and a array has how many columns? 2 columns, 1 2. So both the arrays have same columns. So 2 equals to 2. So we can go ahead and join. So now we will go ahead and join these two arrays vertically. Vertically joining, we need to make sure that number of columns are same. If number of columns will not same, then joining is not possible. Keep this in mind always. 1 2, then 7 5, then 1, and then 6. Okay, so this is the vertical joining v stack. Now we will see horizontal joining. Now we have the array called y array is created np dot array using np dot array. This is the example of np dot array creation. So it will create an array like this. It will have 99, and this is the y array. Okay, now we will see this line hashtag a comma y. If we are joining horizontally, we need to match whether the two arrays have the number of rows or not. So a array has the how many number of rows? 2. Y array has how many number of rows? 2. 2 equals to 2. So we can go ahead and join horizontally. So horizontally joining means it will look like this. So which has the first? So 7 5 has the first position in the array, so it will come first in the joining also. So like 7 5 1 6, then you will see 99 here, and then 99 here. 9 will look like this. Okay, so this is the example of horizontal join. I hope this is clear. Let me move ahead. Now we will see the covariance. What is the covariance? Mathematically you should know it, because it comes under the mathematical portion. We will not here to see how can we calculate the covariance, but we will see here that which numpy array function can be used, what will be its syntax for calculating the covariance. You should know covariance. I am giving the definition here. It covariance tells that how much this data set, two data set, let's suppose there are two numpy arrays A and B. Let's suppose there are two numpy arrays A and B, and covariance will tell that how much these two data set, like whatever data is contained in this array A and whatever the data set contained in this array B, how much these two data sets are similar or dissimilar. Okay, this is told, this can be told by the covariance of these two data set numpy arrays. A high positive covariance between the two data sets means they are strongly similar. If the covariance always comes with, like this, and if there is a value of covariance that is highly positive, then we can say that two data sets are very similar. If we got the negative covariance, that means the two data sets are very dissimilar. Okay, so for this purpose we can use the np.cov function. Cov function of numpy array can be used to check whether two data sets are similar or dissimilar. So you should remember this line. Syntax of this np.cov function is sufficient, or the question may be asked of 1 or 2 marks. What is the function in numpy can be used for finding the covariance? So you will tell this np.cov array1 comma array2. If you see an example, you will create a numpy array A, create a numpy array B, and then you will write this code to calculate the covariance. np.cov a comma b, two data sets will be passed, and then it will return a covariance matrix. And if you want to see whether what is the covariance, then you will see the cov array 0 index 0 position, whatever is there, that is the covariance of this particular two data sets. Highly positive means these two data sets are very similar. Similar in the sense 120 120 100, like this 100. So this is the way that it is saying that it is very similar. Okay, let me move ahead. I hope this is clear. In this topic you should know what is the syntax only. Either it will ask the definition or it will ask the syntax of the numpy array statement to calculate the covariance. That's sufficient. You need not to worry about how to calculate the covariance. If you know it, very good, it's better. But if you don't know, don't worry, you should remember the syntax and you should know what is covariance. That is sufficient for subject IP. Let me move ahead. Now we will see the another important concept, correlation. Correlation is also a mathematical concept. You need not to know here what is the how to calculate the correlation in mathematics, but you should know what is the syntax in Python or NumPy array to calculate the covariance. Let me discuss the definition. Correlation is actually very similar to covariance, but it is some normalized covariance. In dimension interval, correlation will, the covariance will tell you how similar two data sets are there. Means how much similar, like highly positive number of covariance shows these two data sets are very similar, and very negative number of the covariance will show these two data sets are very dissimilar. So covariance is used to represent that two data sets are similar or dissimilar how much, okay, in quantitative analysis. But in case of correlation, you will always say that whether the two data sets are similar or dissimilar. But that is the only information we provide in correlation. We will not show that how much these are different, two data sets, how much these are different is not shown by the correlation, it is shown by covariance. But correlation will always show you that how these data, how much is not shown by the correlation, but it will always show whether these two data sets are similar or dissimilar. Only this will be answered. So it will have the two value, 1 if two data sets have the positive covariance, and -1 if the two data sets have the negative covariance. To calculate the correlation, you will use the Korkov function of the NumPy array. Remember the syntax, it is very important. Question will be asked directly to write down the syntax of the correlation coefficient. You will write this like CORR COEF. Then if example is asked, then you will write create a two data set A and comma B. You will write this like this, np dot Korkov. In case of covariance, you will use this method, and it will return a correlation coefficient matrix. It's 0 index. You will see the value 1.0. That means these two data sets are positively covariant. Okay, thank you. We will see next concept. Now we will see the another important concept, linear regression. Remember this, it in this chapter these three topics: covariance, another is correlation coefficient, CORR COEF, correlation coefficient and linear regression. These three are very important questions, sometimes asked of 3 marks. Directly they will give the three statements. What is the NumPy function for calculating covariance? Second, what is the NumPy method for calculating correlation? And what is the NumPy method to find the linear regression? These three questions may be asked in a single question. Then you should know these three functions, very important, because it may give you 3 marks very easily. So remember the name of these three functions. So linear regression, you should not know how to calculate the linear regression in respect of the IP class, but definition should be known to you, what is linear regression, and then you should know the syntax, how can you calculate the linear regression using Python. Okay, so linear regression is method which is used to find the relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable. Let's suppose these are the two dependent variables. Let's suppose the area of the let's suppose a plot is purchased. Then what is the dependent variables? Cost of the plot and area size of the plot. These two variables are dependent variables, and you will see the some other parameter using these two parameters. Then this is known as independent variable. Okay, so simple linear regression, and there are two types of linear regression, simple and multiple. Simple means there is only one independent variable, like price of the house depends only on one field, that is size of the plot. If you want to buy a house, then how the price of this plot is calculated? Then you will say that if the size of the plot is the only parameter that is basically used to calculate the property price of the house. Other parameters may be there, but in general only the size of the plot matters. Okay, this is the only, if there is a price of the house only dependent on the one variable, that is size of the plot, then such kind of example dependency is known as linear regression. And multiple linear regression, if more independent variables in it and the price of the house depends on one field, that is size of the plot and the number of rooms, then such kind of regression is known as multiple linear regression. And you can show the linear regression via this polynomial y equals to ax plus b. That is mathematical, you need not to remember this, where x and y are the independent and dependent variables respectively. Okay, and you can use this syntax to plot or draw the linear regression using Python. Polyfill, then you will pass the two variables, independent and dependent, in the parameters. So this is how you can calculate the linear regression. Let's move on. Just for the IP purpose, a question may be asked to write down this syntax, or what this syntax will do. Major question may be asked on these two, or a very simple definition may be asked, what is linear regression, and write down the syntax to calculate the linear regression in Python NumPy. Okay, so this much you should know. Okay, I have to cover one more simple concept here, the as you know that numpy array supports the vectorize operation, so we will see the vectorize operation here. Vectorize operation means operation that is applied to the each and individual element of the numpy array. Let's suppose there is a numpy array a1 and here a numpy array a2. Let's suppose this numpy array has value 10, this has 11, this has 12, and this has 13, and this has the numpy array, let's suppose 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so vectorize operation means a1, if you want to add 2 in each and every element of this numpy array, then what you will write, a1 plus 2. What this statement will do, this will add 2 into the each element of this numpy array a1 and return the numpy array, return the new numpy array. That means this numpy array will be created like this. So what will they, a 10 plus 2 12, 11 plus 2 13, then 12 plus 2 14, then 13 plus 2 15, like this. So this is the addition operation. Okay, this is known as vectorize operation. Now if you want to multiply the each element by 2, then you will write a1 star 2, it will do multiplication. Then what will be the output, you can guess. You will see that the every value of the numpy array a1 will be multiplied by 2. So 10 into 2, that is 20, 11 into 2, that is 22, 12 into 2, that is 24, and 13 into 2 in math is 26. So this is how the multiplication can be done with the numpy array. Similarly, subtraction and division can also be performed. Okay, so this is the vectorize operation, addition and multiplication. Similarly, subtraction can be do and division can also be do. Now there is another numpy function is also available to do the same thing. Np dot, like we want to add 2 into each element of the numpy array, then you can do like this. Np dot add a1 numpy array, we will pass here the numpy array a1 comma 2. Then what it will do, it will add 2 into the each element of this numpy array. This way you can do. So there are two ways to add 2 into the numpy array. Either you can write this way, or you can write np dot add name of the numpy array a1 comma value that you want to add a1 comma 2. Similarly, for multiplication, what we can do, np dot, for this purpose you need to import numpy, this thing you should know. So there is a for the purpose of multiplication there is a function mul, multiplication mul, and similarly a1, and then you will pass the value by which you want to multiply. So let's suppose we want to multiply by 2, then you will get the result like this. So there are two ways to multiply. Either you can use a1 star 2, or you can use np dot mult a1 comma 2. So similarly, for subtraction there is a method sub, and for division there is a method called div. So keep this in mind. Div and subtraction method you can do as I have demonstrated two examples here. Now another important thing, you can also add the two numpy arrays. Like there are two numpy arrays a1 and a2. If you want to add these two numpy arrays, you can also do this in a very similar way that we have done for these. So let's suppose we want to add a1 plus a2, then what you will write, a1 plus a2, like this. If you will write a1 plus a2 like this, then the two elements of the numpy arrays will be added and displayed. So in this case, index by index multiplication is performed. First 10 and then 1 will be added and 11 will be shown here. Then 11 plus 2, then it is 13, then 12 plus 3, that is 15. Then we will see 13 plus 4, that is 17. So this way you can add. Okay, you can also use the np.add method similarly to perform this add. Then you will write a1 comma a2 this way. So these two lines are similar. Okay, so these are some methods I wanted to discuss with you. Similarly, you can do the multiplication a1 star a2, then corresponding elements will be multiplied and displayed. Let me show you the multiplication also. Let's suppose you want to perform a1 star a2. a1 star a2. I think you are smart enough to answer this. a1 star a2, 10 into 1, that is 10 will be displayed. 11 into 2, that is 22. 12 into 3, that is 36. 13 into 4, that is 52. This way you can do. Now another important question you might have in your mind, that if the shape of these two numpy arrays is not same, then what will happen? This is important question. If the shape of these two numpy arrays will not same, then multiplication will not be possible. Okay, so keep this in mind. If it is possible, then n, a, n values in corresponding fields will be displayed. Okay, so keep this in mind. I hope that numpy array topic is clear to you. Let me move ahead. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt, identify the slide in which you have doubt and note down the subject code, slide code in this, and subject of email, and write down the problem in the body of the email. Send it to this email ID. If you have any suggestion in this video, then you may also write to me on this email ID. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.